Hello folks, it's Combrig Bolokov here on our first mission, our very first video in actual fact, and just to let you know a little bit about what this channel is all about. It's me, an old sod that's got some old equipment, Soviet style, and we'll see how it runs. Basically I've got an Acer laptop, yes, just a laptop, no gaming machine, just a normal i5 laptop. I think it's an i5 6200, something like that. It's got one of those built-in graphic cards. As you can see on here, it's a HD Graphics 520 from Intel. Thank you very much. So we're going to see how this handles the game, which we're reviewing at this very moment, which is the Soveit Republic Workers and Resources. And welcome to episode 1. I've had a little bit of tinkering with this game, and it's fantastic, absolutely fantastic. The map, there's only one map at the moment that's provided with this. It's absolutely huge. It's massive, and we're going to take a little exploration around it. There's a couple of modes that you need to take note of, which we'll look at right now. So if I select new game, I've saved a starting point, which we're going to come back to just to save some time in a few moments. But to give you an idea of where we start, here we go. There's one map. It's called Medium Hills. It's blank is the first one, and various options here to make it as difficult or as easy as you want. There's also the same map, but this has got some population and some villages and towns scattered across it. So if you want to have the challenge of reaching out and spreading the economy, you can do that from here, which is the option we've chosen to start this demonstration. As you can see here, you can have a starting population. I'd be very careful with this. I've gone halfway, so sort of on the fence and off the fence sort of thing, playing it safe. I've gone 50%, which is a few thousand scattered across the map in various towns and villages. But you've got to think of the fact that you've got to provide all the industry and work for the amount of population that's there. So start off with a moderate amount of people, so that you can take your time and build things up. Overall difficulty is it easy, medium, hard. I've gone for the easy option for now because I'm quite new to this. Money amount easy. That gives you 10 million rubles to start with, and 2 million US dollars, because you trade with two different borders here, the Soviet border and a NATO border, but that will become apparent very soon. So medium gives you about 3 million rubles and $1 million, something like that anyway to start with, but we've picked easy there. Unsatisfied citizens reaction, I'm going to go for reasonable, medium, playing it safe. Energy management, if you disable that, you don't have to worry about power or fuel for your vehicles or power to the buildings. I'm going to do buildings only for now, buildings and vehicles. We're going to, when we ramp this level up and we know what we're doing, yes, we're going to come back and we're going to max all this out, so it's very hard. But for now, for demonstration purposes, here we go, we're going in easy mode. Day-night cycle, obviously there's day-night. If you're fed up with it getting dark now and again, you can just disable that, but I'm enabling it. Building fires, yeah, of course, we'll keep that normal. Global events, that option is not available yet in this release. It's in its early stages, so no doubt that will be active in an upcoming release and make the game even more challenging. In pollution, I'm going to pull that on. Start of year, not sure, I think we started in the 70s on the one I've set up, but you can start in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and that will affect vehicles availability and various bits and bobs. If you lock according to year, or you can have also in the 1960s, you can have vehicles from the 80s if you do, but I've locked it according to the year. The education simulation is about how you educate your plebs. You can keep it simple and or complex, and when I say complex, you have to provide facilities like kindergartens, schools and universities and things like that, and I've kept that on because it just makes the game a little bit more interesting. So here we go, let's get in there. I've called it Bolokov 70s. We are starting in the 70s. Obviously my town's going to be my major city will be the city of Bolokov. And we're starting here. I've named a few things just to keep it simple. Border A, as you can see, this is on the Soviet borders here. It has rail access, it has road access, and this is the customs house where we do our trading with. Next to it here we have the electricity provision. We, as we're starting off, we'll be purchasing our electricity from the Soviets. And at a later date, once we've got our power stations built, when we get to that stage, we can export electricity back into it. So making a bit of bread and butter there. Now, if we move along, I've chosen a border over here, I think. Is it over here? Somewhere over here. Which is on the NATO side of the border. And I think it's over this mountain. Oh, should have sped that up a bit. Maybe I didn't. Not sure what I've done there. Let's have a flyover, shall we? Zoom out and fly in. Let's have a look. I'm sure it's over here. We've got another border. Oh, God. You can just see how big this bloody map is. Here it is. Okay, so here's the other border. This is the NATO border. And as you can see, we've got various outposts down here. Some have electricity output, some have multiple train tracks to bring all your wares to, and so on and so on. This one's got electricity, so we can also export to NATO countries. As you can see here, this is rather a significant border post. 3 rail tracks, 3 main roads in and out. And that's when you're really ramping stuff up. Right, it's getting a bit dark now, so it's going to be a bit difficult seeing what we're doing, but I'm sure we'll cope with that. What I'm going to do, I'm going to rename this. As you can see, it's called Bowers Slaw or something like that. Keep the cursor over it till it goes yellow, and click the R, which is rename. And I'm going to call this Border B. I'm going to put a $sign there, so I know this is a NATO outpost, as it was. So when you're zooming around the map, and if you see, you can see names of various towns and villages come up. I do mine in capitals. The reason why I do them in capitals is because they're easier. They're just easier and they stand out more. All right, here we go. We're flying through the night back to Border A, because around there I'm going to send up Bolokov. When we get some daylight and we can actually see what we are doing. I'll tell you what, save you getting bored, we'll zoom straight to that now. Piff, paff, puff. Oh, welcome back, comrades, to Bolokov. And the sun is just rising on a new day. As you can see, it's 10th of January, 1970. And if we look at our GUI at the top there, at the right-hand side, we can see in rubles, we have 10 million rubles to play with. We have $2 million US to play with as well. But that soon goes if you get, a bit loose with what you're doing. And, buying up a little bit too much too soon. So we're going to try and be frugal with it and be a little bit sensible. This is our starting point here, and as you can see, we're on Border A and we have all this area to play with. Now it looks pretty flat, but I can assure you there's bumps and curves in all of it, but I'm going to show you very shortly how we can solve that out to make building a little bit more easier. Right, so we want a main road out of here, and I think we're going to be posh. We've got various options here. We've got a mud road. I think we could, even in 1970 they were quite civilized. You've got gravel road, asphalt roads, and asphalt roads with streetlights and sidewalks. I'm going to use that for our main terminus out to let them know that we're an up and coming republic here, and there's no stopping us. Right, so we've laid out our first foundations for Bolokov, and because of that, and we're proud, I'm going to name it Bolokov, and this is easy to do. You see the naming tool there. It puts a random name in. You can just change it by hovering over it. Goes yellow, and here we go. We're calling it I'll do it, as I say, I do it in capitals. just so I can see on the map. Nothing to do with my failing eyesight, I assure you. Right, there we go. So Bolokov, it's on its way to being built. And first thing I'm going to do, if we look through the various options here, we can see under infrastructure menu, we've got roads, rails, building connections here for forklift trucks, for warehouses, etc. Footpaths and various other bits and bobs. First thing I'm going to do, if we select the road, we go to construction, because I'm going to try and save us some money here. In the construction related industry, you will see there is a construction office. So I'm going to put this quite near to the border post. There we go. As you see, you can lay it down, and it lines up with the road if it's accessible. Using your mouse wheel, you can spin the building round. If you want a bit more control over it, be a bit more accurate, you can see that's a little bit off. If you hold the control key down, you have a little bit more lining up tool, as I say. You can get things a bit more lined up by pressing the control button. That's what I've done there. Okay, so we've got our construction office built. Now, when you look at any of these construction menus or infrastructure menus at the top here, you'll see that you've got your terrain tools, and you've got this terrain leveling tool here. This one does it by averaging, and as you can see, there you go. The green dots are pretty flat areas, and where that it goes a little bit more yellow, as it does there. Well, that's red because that's infrastructure I've built. But if we look at, I'm trying to find you an example here of how this works. And when you want to find a hill, you never find one. Oh, here we go. So here, there's a bit of a hill, and you see that the yellow markers on there indicate that. But if I press down and flatten that, you see it all goes green, and that's like a bit of averaging. This one, a level terrain height from center, it will pick the center point and make the area around it to that particular level. And by using the mouse wheel, you can widen out that area. You can get a better idea. This is averaging. If I move it along now, put the center point with the red bit round it, you'll see to the left where it's sloping downwards. Now if I flatten, it's going to bring that area up. Okay, right, as you can see, that's costing me money doing that. So the reason why I've built a construction office, I've gone a bit off key there, but it's all related, is that we can save some cash by buying some vehicles that will do that for us. So basically what we want is some bulldozers. I don't know, that's a very basic one though. We'll go for 2 of those, 3 of those, 3 of the cheaper ones. We will need an excavator because when you look, let's have a look, that one there, we'll have one of those, just one of those do. When it really gets heavy stuff, it will say, no, I need an excavator to do that. So put one in there just in case. I've got 5 bulldozers, 1 excavator. And if we go back to that area where we're doing our bit of trial and error here, this time, if we take off auto build, whether you're paying in rubles and dollars, because we've purchased those vehicles now, this won't cost us a penny. So you'll see, looking at the GUI, you see our little trucks coming out. This ain't costing me a penny now. And the more of these vehicles you got, the quicker all this happens. You know, at the moment we're on a budget, so we're not too fussed. But as you can see, this does the job. And this is on the averaging tool at the moment. So as long as I keep this center on the area that is flat, and I want to make the rest of the areas too, you can see that that's working quite nicely. I can also narrow it down to a little area like that if I just want to, you know, make a bit for a road or railway going through there. So that's how that works, and that's the benefit of getting your construction office up and ready immediately. You can add to that, and in the end you can build roads for free if you have the infrastructure to do that. But we're a long way from that yet. And what we're going to do, we're going to get basic villagey stuff underway. First thing I'm going to do is look, we've got some forestry area here, and I'm trying to look for the biggest bit that we've got, which is probably, I don't want to go to the right, too much because it's in the mountains. I think we'll start and we'll put a wood cutting area in here and some logging going on, because that will make us you know, some bread and butter to start with. And all I need for that, if I extend this road out, I just need a dirt road going into the forest. But first of all, I'll extend our main part of the road down to here, like that. Try and keep it reasonably straight. And then we'll go into a mud track road into the forest. And the reason why we're going into the forest will become apparent in a few moments. Let's get that reasonably straight. Go into there. Right, we'll get us there. Into the middle. Oh, well, I've hit a hill or something there. So let's have a zoom in and have a look what's going on there. Yeah, okay. Well, that'll do, because all I need to do now is look at setting up the wood industry here. So we got two buildings. We are going to need 3. That will come apparent in a few moments. But the first important one is the wood cutting post. And straight away, when we click that, if I just zoom out there a minute, this will become apparent as to why. You can see that this green and yellow spotted area will show the coverage that this will have wherever you place the outpost. So that's pretty much covering most of the area I want to with trees. So if I stick my outpost here at the end of the road, now I've got to be careful here, because I've got to take in consideration the conveyor. If you look, there's a black arrow with some yellow arrows on it. Now that is a link to another building. For if you know, we're going to go for the wood cutting building soon, so we can link to that so that the wood goes straight out of there into the sawmill, ready to be processed. So, yeah, I'm happy with that. I think we'll dump that down there. Donk, there you go. Because I've turned the auto build off, obviously I need to pay for the building, so I've turned that back on. I have to click on the building now, click on fund it with rubles, and there we go. That's starting. That's construction underway for our wood outpost. That is there. Before we progress with that, I'm going to get the sawmill in whilst we're here at this spot, ensuring. Right, I don't want that way because the road won't line up. Okay, road's in the way, so what we can do, we can make some changes here. Let's get rid of that. Let's get the buildings set up first, shall we, before we start messing with roads. Probably lesson learned there. Right, let's get the sawmill lined up. That can pretty much go in there right now. As you can see, these black arrows on these buildings here show that they can be linked. And we do that by going into the infrastructure. You'll see the forklift truck here. These will come highlighted. And there you go. It's all gone green. So that means that link is valid and void and will be working. There you go. Right. So what do we need now? Now from here we need some sort of storage delivery infrastructure in there, so we can do that under storage. We've got a couple of options here. We got the open storage. We've got a small one and we've got a medium one. I think to start with, we'll go with the small one. We'll just make sure everything lines up. There you go. So we go from there to there. And we go back to our forklift man. Where is he? He's here. Let's get him a link to that building. So basically now, the wood logs will go to this building. They come to here. They get sawn into planks. Once this becomes full up, I think this has got a little bit of storage of its own. They all come into this yard, and then we can get trucks and so forth to pick things up. The medium one, in actual fact, I think the medium one's got a railway link. Yep. Okay. This might seem a bit of a waste, but sod it. Yeah, I think we're going to go for the biggie. Yeah. Yes, that's got a railway track, so I think that'll be a bit better. Right, come on, clear off. I thought I deleted the other one. Oh, I did. It just took its time clearing. Okay, let's go again. So we'll go for the medium one and line that up there. Oh, this is a bit bigger, this. Needs to flatten the terrain. Right, am I going to get out there with a road access? I might have to come this way a bit. Put it at an angle. Is that going to work? Well, we'll soon find out. It's all a bit of trial and error when you try and get all these links working. And doing it in the dark doesn't help. Well, that's worked. That's good. Just have to consider the railway track now and road access. So if we go back to our roads, I think this time, because we're going to need some vehicles, I don't think we'll do a dirt track. I think we'll do gravel road into that, onto the main road there. Oh, it's not built none of this road because I had the rubles turned off, but we can do that when we get a bit of daylight. Right, so there's a road access from there. We need the road access from the sawmill as well. Am I going to have any delivery vehicles going there? Possibly. Oh, building in the way. That is going to be... Oh, there we go. We've got out. Okay. It's just that trying to do this in the dark isn't probably the best way of doing things. Right, let's link that up on there. Oh, that's too tight. There you go. That there. And then the wood cutting post. You can have a road as well. All links into this. Right, so there we go. We've got a little network set up there of our wood post outlets. Right, let's get back to there. Have no power to it at the moment. We're going to need some vehicles. And been in the 70s. Yeah, there's not much. What is going on there? Oh, that was dollars. That's why there's nothing there. Okay, here we go. This is more like it, boys' toys. Ah, love it. Right, that looks like a significant logger. We can only have 3 vehicles here, so I suggest this does kick out the logs, if you know what I mean. And we need some vehicles to deliver the wood planks back. These are all... These are 12-tonners. I don't want the pink one. That's a 12-tonner. 1972. Oh, yeah, that's a 4-tonner. Zeal with crane. Ah. There's 9 tons. We'll have one of those, and we'll have one of those. Okay. A Kaz, a Zeal, and a U377 logger. Marvellous. Right, okay. So we've got our vehicles there, and they've just appeared in the yard, right? But they're not going to do much until we've got a couple of other things. We need some electricity, and we need some people. And we also need these roads finished off out here. So I'm going to have to get these funded. Sorry about this. That was because I mistakenly had funding turned off. Yes, funding turned off means nothing gets done in Bolokovville. Right, is that being built there? There we go. Yes, lovely. There we go. Right, we're not too far from the power outputs here. 2 types of power that we have to be concerned with. If we're doing long distance stuff and stuff that requires lots of voltage, we've got these high powered pylons. If we're doing local distribution, we need the medium power stuff, which is this medium voltage wires. And we got 3 types. You've got to be careful here. There's no good going into heavy industry trying to save money by using these cheaper wooden poles. I use these medium voltage wires, the 2.2 megawatt ones, more because, well, you're just guaranteed a bit more of an easier time of stuff failing less. And last thing we want is stuff going pear-shaped on us. Right, so let's run that. Is that sensible? Right along the banks of the lake here. I'm not sure. No, I'm going to run right. See, a bit of foreplanning always helps in this game because we rush to get things out and don't always go to plan. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to run mine out from this side. Oops. Oh, wrong one. Let's select the right one, shall we? Wakey, wakey, I've not had enough coffee. Right. So we've got some there. You've got to be very careful with these as well, because they tend not always to connect up. They sort of fan out, but the connection isn't made. So I'm going to run this along the side of the road. Yeah, you have to be careful with that. So you'll find that I'll be doing quite a bit of double checking. Right, okay, so let's just get that to there for now, because the next thing we're going to need is a electric substation. So we need to drop the voltage down to levels that people can plug into quite happily. Now, on these substations, you see that you get road access to them as well. I really recommend that you try and get these roads connected instead of randomly dropping them anywhere, because there's a reason for that. Fires do happen here, and if they do catch fire, the fire service needs to get to them, otherwise they just burn. And that goes for all other infrastructure as well. Now I made a balls up here because I'm not going to get the angle, but doesn't matter. The angle of the dangle is very important, and we will get that right. So if I get rid of these here, and this time bring that out to there. Oh, look at that. It's going to be a match made in heaven. There you go. You go to there. Right, now we need to do some negotiation at the border. I need to import some of this electricity. So we click on the electric output thing. I'm going to select just 20% for now, which is 2 megawatts, because I endeavour to get my own power stations not too far away. So there we go, import that, and you can see the voltage has gone up there. Hopefully at the other end it's gone through my wires and it's ended up at this substation. Yes, look at that, and we have voltage to test to see where buildings are connected. You can see there my 3 buildings are in range, and they should have power. So there you go, there's the power. I know that this logging thing here, oh, it does need workers. Okay, well, we can sort that out. So let's open up them buildings there and see what we need in terms of resources. The warehousing facility, we don't need none at all. But as we can see here, the woodcutting post, you can have a maximum of 30 employees there, 20 for the sawmill. So we know there we're going to need at least 50 people. But what you do have to take into account is I think there's 2 or 3 shifts a day. So that 50, you can probably treble it and say, well, we're going to need at least 150 people to keep that going. So we're going to cater for that. We're going to start making some infrastructure to get some employees down there. We're going to use a tarmac road because we're in civilization. Let's flatten that out. There we go. There's a bit of a road there. Now let's go to our construction options here, and we can see here we've got residential buildings. We've got brick type, we've got prefabs. But I'm going to go for a brick type here that carries, how many is that? 51. So I'll get 3 of these buildings. I think we'll be in business. Right, so let's zoom into the area we're going to put our house in, which is just off here. And what we've got to take in consideration is that electricity supply there should, oh, this is a bit dodge pop, should cater for these buildings as well, hopefully. Try and get them lined up as much as good as we can. There you go. The footprints of some of these buildings are quite large. I think we can come forward with that one a bit and give it a little bit Control C, and you get a little bit more control on the placements of that. So there we go, 3 buildings, that's 150 people in there. I'm going to pause that whilst they're building, set out the footpaths. One thing you will find with this game is that if you don't get your footpaths into the buildings around, that's the work buildings and things such as shops and pubs and whatever, these are very lazy people. If the paths ain't there, they ain't going. They sit at home and they complain. I can't get to this, I can't get to that. Blah, blah, blah. We'll drop a footpath down there, save having lots of... Oh, I didn't like that. Is it the angle or dangle again? Yes, the angle or dangle. The angle or dangle is one thing that you will find what can I say? One of the most challenging things in here, as you'll find out. Right, so we get a footpath out from the places of work. No, I think they're just walking through the door on the wood house. The sawmill has a path. I'm hoping now people are in range of these buildings. I think what I'll do, I'm going to drop a footpath from here to there. Oh, if it lets me. That's it. Oh, look, we can see people. Oh, look, these are keen. These are the proper workers coming in. Haha. Right, that's it. Gives her a job. Oh, it's all slowly coming together. Right, okay, so... Oh, they're going into the sawmill. Let's make sure we can click on the building and say, right, I want you to... Oh, right, why isn't that? Citizens deciding where they think is best. There are no connections to this building. Right. Okay, that's got to be to do with a footpath thing. Has it got any footpaths? It hasn't. Ah. Well, there must be. Okay, let's try dragging a footpath down to it, because we can't have everyone in the sawmill when they won't have any wood. This doesn't make sense, doesn't it? Right, okay. Let's drop that in there. Come on. Yeah, no. You don't want to connect to it. Yes, well, I'm hoping that... No, it's still saying no connection to it. Right, okay, well, let's put a bit of road with a bit of footpath. Oh, God, that's going to have a street light on it. It's going to look a bit odd, but never mind. So the thing is, these roads have footpaths as well, and I think that is the only way you can interface with this building. Well, we'll soon find out. Let's see if that's done anything. No. Nope. That's madness. So you get conundrums like this, and just as you hit a conundrum, it goes bloody dark. Yes. Right, so if I go back onto the footpath thing, I'm sure there isn't a connection on it, because you normally get that little P sign come up, or whatever it is. No, there is absolutely no footpath connection to that building at all. Zoom in. I really... No. That's mad. Okay. I'm wondering if it's because that building is out of range. Let's see if this one is a bit happier with it. Right, it will connect to the sawmill. No, but it won't connect to that, which is most annoying. Okay, I've got a feeling I'm going to have to build a normal road all the way up to it. So max walking, you have got walking speed on there, so let's bring this all the way up, bonk, to there. Nothing like trying to build a road in the dark. There we go, bit of night work going on here. I'm hoping, really hoping now that solved our problems. Well, at least we found out the residential buildings have now got power. Right, okay, that's a conundrum. I'm sure there's people in the comments right now shouting out what I need to do. Well, is there a quick fix to this? Do we plant a residential house next to it? Let's have a gulp of coffee. Hold up. Oh, nothing like stone cold strong coffee. God. Oh, that'll get the old cobwebs out. Right, okay, let's Do we have another think about this? Nothing like experimentation here. Right, so that footpath obviously didn't work. Let's get rid of some of that. Try the road bit, because I know that these asphalt roads do have footpath. Oh, I can see what I'm doing now. Daylight, right? Get rid of that. Get rid of that. You go back there. You get in there. Oh, yeah. Let's make it all sort of conform. Right, connect you up there. Right, okay. Have we a connection? Let's have a look. No. Right, okay. There's nothing else for it. What we're going to have to do then is stick a residential building there. Let's get rid of that. I got rid of the road there as well. Now the bulldozer is can be manic, and you've got to be careful there. There are actual road and footpath tools that remove bits of road and footpaths without damaging anything else. But as you can see, like a bull in a china shop, we've just ploughed through there. Okay, let's pull that road there. Oh, you know what it's not going to do now, don't you? It's not going to let me do it. Right, let's get rid of that. Yes, this is making a hash of things. Infrastructure in the way. Right, you know what to do. Start again. Posh, posh, posh. And bring that round to there. Okay, that's connected back up. The footpath from that building that was okay can go back in. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put enough in for, say, 100 people. 75, 100. So, well, these are big buildings here. 143 workers. That'll see us out, and they'll be fighting over the jobs. You watch. Right, we have infrastructure there. Oh, let's whack that in there. Let's give them the all-important footpaths, because without footpaths, like I say, these don't want to walk anywhere without a footpath. Right, now, if that tells me that there's no connection to that place of work, that'll be right. I'll tell you what I must do. Let's whack that. Oh, that's brilliant. Let's just whack that down a little bit, the music. As good as it is, oh, there we go. Yeah, they're actually going there. Fantastic. And the trucks are moving. That's all we needed to do. Bring a place a little bit closer. Has this building got power? Yes, that's good. Right, here we go. Yeah, the families are in there. Let's, well, we've got 100 living in there, which I think is enough for that building, because it only needs, was it 20 or 30? 30, or we've got 25 in there already. These are maxed out to 18. As you can hear, the wood is being cut. We get a few deliveries, some logs, and we will see nice wooden planks coming out into our storage area this end. This means we're near enough ready to start trading soon. But what we need to do is keep the residents happy. Let's give them some places to buy some food. So we'll give them a small grocery store that we'll stick in here, which is accessible to that lot up there. We'll give them a small store, which will stuff they can buy electrical goods. Hold on, that didn't go down. What happened there? Get in there. Right, let's bring that right close to there, as close as we can get. That's the grocery store. Small store you can buy clothes from and electrical goods, apparently. That can go there. We've got to give them the all-important pub. I wonder if we can squeeze that down here somewhere. No. We'll stick that on the corner there. There you go. There's the pub. Squeeze that there. And again, as good practice, it should be, we make our footpaths so that they can access the pub. That's probably more important. The shop. Oh, we need to take one out. Oh, no, messed that one up. Let's get rid of that. I think because of the angle of the dangle, well, that can go to there. There you go. Let's give them a bit of that. There's the grocery store. That can link to the back of the other store. That can link over to the pub. There we go. Right. So that should keep them sweet for a little while. I think what we'll do as well, so they're not complaining that they're not getting no exercise, we'll stick a little soccer field in there. Is that soccer? Football field. What do you think? I'm American now. We'll stick that at the back here so they can go straight from the soccer field, football field, into the bar. What a choice. Good old English way of doing things, I think, isn't it? You know, go and play your Sunday football straight for 12 pints and a kebab. Marvellous. Right, there we go. That's Bolokov underway. So I think, for now, that'll do us for this episode. What are we... yeah, about 40 minutes in. And I won't do too much because you'll just get peed off with my voice. And watching me wangle my way through this, there's nothing like a bit of wangling. And, yeah, I think we're a good demonstration of that. Right, okay. Let's get the old, good old screenshot thing in there. There we go. There's a photo taken of the seeds of Bolokov in action. And as we can see, our loggers are doing a sterling job of bringing in the logs here. Where are they? There they all are. Look, he's loading up there. The sawmill has actually now got goods into our yard. Okay, should we do a demonstration here of our first sow? Should we do that in the first episode? Our first sow of goods to the border. Okay, we will do. Right, we've got a construction office here. What I'm going to put next to the construction office is a vehicles depot, and that's where we can start to order up various kinds of vehicles to do specific tasks and jobs. I am going to stick that up here by the border. Let's see. This is, I mean, look at the size of the footprint for this. If I go there, look, it goes red already by the road. That's quite a footprint. But we'll line that up. Yeah, we'll give that a bit of a road. Oh no, that's too steep. If I do it, see, it's all about the angle of the dangle. Go straight ahead, and it goes, oh no, too much of a climb. But if it hangs to the left or it hangs to the right, it's okay. What do you think? Left, right, left. Well, these are socialists, so it's got to be on the left, isn't it? There you go. Yeah, bang that in. Right, so we've got our vehicle depot there. Cunningly enough, these buildings don't need power to operate. But anyway, what we need now is a couple of flatbed trucks, which are also known as covered holes. Do we need that? A dumper. We don't need a dumper. Oh, this is dollars, right? I thought the choice was a bit sparse. Right, here we go. If we buy things in rubles, we've got more of a choice. So what we need is an open hole truck. What's that? Cans there. So that can take 12 tons of wood. That can take 5. We don't want nothing too massive at the moment. What else? Oh, we've got 3 pages of this stuff. KMZ. 16 tons. I don't think we're going to be pushing out that much that soon. We'll start off pretty small. Okay, we only need a small truck, don't we? What's that? Yeah, that's 5. I say 5 would do. 2 of those. So we've got our 2 trucks now, and they've appeared in our vehicle depot below. So this is how we assign these babies. If I double click on one of the vehicles, we see that all these details come up, and I can start to plan its route here, which is very simple. Select a new stop, come down to our yard here. You see it goes green, so if I click that now, it loads up there. Load 100% of anything, so we can open that dialogue up. Well, we're just looking at wood, aren't we? So there you go. Then we have to tell it where to unload it, which is going to be the border post. Well, there you go. So there's the border post A, unload. And that should be as simple as that. So now if I click launch this vehicle. Let's watch our first SAL, shall we? This is the first SAL of the century here in Bolokov. You're witnessing history in motion in this new Soviet Republic. And here's our truck now on his way to Bolokov town with his first load that he's going to deliver to the Soviet Republic. And I think we're going to use trains when we get a bit more exciting and a bit more adventurous. We'll use trains to deliver to NATO borders to get some of those Yankee dollars. Okay, here we go. Here's our truck. He's going to make his first pickup and delivery. There we go. He's fully loaded with 5 tons of wooden planks. Now on their way, zooming up to the border. This is our first truck. What I'm going to do in the moment, what I can do, is copy the route from this truck and suck it in to the second truck so that we have 2 trucks on the go, doing business all day. As long as they've got wood, as long as we've got employees, as long as the employees are happy, we're starting to trade. So let's take a quick look at how much that's all worth. Yeah, okay, well, 83 rubles. It's a start. It's a start. And it pays for the beers, doesn't it? It pays for the beers in the bar for the boys doing all the craft back at the wood plantation. Here we go. We're arriving at the borders. Let's see what happens here. Will they take it? Is it good enough wood? Yes, they've bought it. And we can see our coffers going up a few pence. Rubles all the way. Okay, so I'm going to copy that schedule. Stop following him for a minute. Let's go back to our depot. Select him. Oh. Alright, so if I copy that, that should go green. That's copied. Okay. And I can open him up. There he is. And he's already got the schedule in there. And let's start him off. And off he goes. 2 trucks, so yeah. We're going to make some bread and butter, buddy. We're in business. This is only the beginning, folks. As we can see, comrades, there's no stopping us now. Bolokov is in motion. And as we sift off into the night, I think we're calling it a wrap for this episode. Okay, folks, thanks for joining us. And do join us for episode 2. I do assure you there'll be less waffle. Well, maybe. And more doing. But this was just giving you the basics of what's going on. We're going to explore the map a little bit more as well in the next episode, so you can see where our ultimate goals are and where we're going with this. And there's plenty more to explore. I mean, you know, I've literally touched the tip of the iceberg. This is all new to me as well. I've had a tinker with it over the last couple of days. It seems fantastic. I really am getting into this game. I've got another save game that I'm well into at the moment. But the opportunities here seem endless, and it looks like the developer, Dev, I think his name is Dev. They call him Dev for the devil. I don't know, but he seems to be well in touch with the subscribers, especially on the Steam discussions thing there. And, there's regular updates. Okay, on that note, the sun is coming up, folks, and I'll leave you with this lovely sunrise. Catch you later.